Hi everybody, Michaela here. I'm starting off my video a little differently today. It's the end of October, but here in New England we are having snow. So I thought to kind of change things up a little bit. I would show you guys what it's looking like outside right now. So I hope you like that little glimpse into our ever interesting weather that we have here. And now for this particular video, I ended up doing something that I've been thinking of doing for a while on my channel, which is a Project Life process video. And I've been doing Project Life, I want to say, for maybe 3 months now. And so far, so good. I'm only I think 2 weeks behind on it. I know a lot of people, when I was looking into Project Life and how people do it and all that sort of thing, a lot of the main complaint that I saw was about how people fall way behind and then they just end up quitting. So far, I haven't had that problem too much. So, I'm really enjoying the process of it. And so now for this particular layout, what I'm doing is instead of a weekly spread, this is going to be all the pictures that I took from a particular event that I went to. This is going to cover my first trip to our local fair. And I started, as you see there, I started to document it and make this whole page about that trip. But then when I started to work on that card, I realized that I should record a process video, and since I've been talking about it for so long, show everybody how I do my my Project Life pages. And I believe that the particular pocket, I'm not sure what the term is, but the sleeve, the Becky Higgins card sleeve, is a design A. I got, when I started Project Life, I got the 60 pack. I'm trying to look at what the name of it is here so that I don't completely mess it up and nobody understands what I'm trying to say. The Big Variety Pack photo pocket pages, and it comes with 10 of, I think, A, B, C, D, and E, I think is what it's, the pocket pages that it comes with. And I was really glad that I got that because I wasn't sure which pages would work, which ones I would like, because they're all different variations. But so far I'm really happy with how this variety packs work, because it's given me a lot of options, and I like to change it up different weeks. Sometimes I have more pictures, sometimes I have less, so I can kind of adjust my cards that I'm using to that. And so now back to this process video. I picked out the cards that I was going to use, and I was originally thinking, should I do a fall theme, because these pictures were the end of September. So I was like, should I do a fall theme, pumpkins, had that idea in my mind. And you saw me pick those Halloween cards, but I was going to just cover the Halloween part and use the color scheme of it. But then the more I thought about it, I realized that I actually really wanted to use the Say Cheese Simple Stories kit, because I thought that the colors really kind of matched what I thought of when I thought of the fair. So I ended up using that. And actually the only 2 cards out of that this entire layout that I did use that were not simple stories are those 2 reddish cards that you see there on the right side in the middle. The 3x4 cards. One of them is just a red card with a white script on it, and it has all sorts of different words on it. And then the other one is a bordered one that has an arrow pointing at it that says, "This made my day." And you'll see later on with the pictures that I put there, you'll see why I used that card. And I didn't notice this even at the time, but I thought it was funny because that yellow card on the bottom right says 26 on it, and I thought that was funny because the day that we went was September 26th. So I couldn't not use the card once I saw that. And I like how it tied together all the yellow that are in those polka dots on the black and the pattern polka dot cards. So now here you see me, I'm starting to pick out the pictures that I have, and so far when I'm doing my Project Life spread, I think I print too many pictures, because what I do is I use I believe it's PicMonkey website, and I make a collage to a 4x6 dimension, and then I just kind of make I add however many pictures that I want to fit on a 4x6 paper, and then I have them printed at Walgreens. And so far that's worked out, but I find that I use too many pictures so that they become too small, so they're kind of, I don't want to say like annoying to look at, to kind of figure out what the picture is, but they're not as clear as I guess they could be, if that makes sense. So that's my thing right now. I'm trying to figure out how I could better pick my pictures, and I think I just like, if I go to an event or if I have a lot of pictures from a certain day or whatever, I print too many of them. I'm trying to like learn that Project Life is supposed to be a snapshot of life, not, basically a mini scrapbook of things, from one theme, basically, is what I'm trying to say, if that makes any sense. So I'm trying to learn to focus more on like particular elements of the day or whatever. So like there's some pictures, from like different animals that I have printed out. More animal pictures that I printed out rather than just the couple that I used here, and then I didn't end up using them, but I went and had them printed. So it's, I feel like I'm wasting them kind of. I mean, I'm not going to throw them out because I'm sure I'll use them at some point for something. But I kind of feel bad not using them on this layout because that's what I printed them for. So now I am still sticking down my pictures. I kind of got a general idea of where I wanted them. So now I'm just starting to tape them down. And I'm using my ATG tool from the Scotch company, and I honestly prefer using my AdTech, the mini runners, just because of the small size and the small size of the pictures and the cards. I think for Project Life it works better, but if you watched one of my last videos, I think I talked about how I ran out of my AdTech runners, and my Marshalls hasn't had them back, so it's not a big deal. So getting used to using the ATG for it. And there I had, and you see up on the left side of the screen, I have an iris container that has bits and pieces from the Simple Stories Snap Pack for the Say Cheese collection. And I also have mixed in there the birthday celebration Snap Pack from Simple Stories as well. So that's why they're not all one theme. And so I decided to use the those little balloons there from the Say Cheese pack, and there's a couple more embellishments that I'll use while I'm making this particular layout. And I also wanted to talk about how I'm storing my Project Life cards. You saw at the beginning of the video that I had that big white tray of them, and what that is I recently got it from Michael's, and it's a storage unit. It's the desktop storage cubes, and it's basically at an angle, which probably didn't show up on the video because my camera was pointed overhead, but so it's at an angle, and it has it has about 7 cubes in it, but it only has 7 because I took out one of the dividers to make room for my 4x6 cards. So that's how I have it set up. So I did modify it a little bit by not using all the dividers, and so I just have them all sorted out there. And even before I got into like using Project Life cards for a Project Life year album, I had gotten a couple sets of them to kind of make embellishments, add for layering my regular scrapbooking, things like that. So I did have some, and so a few months back I did color coordinate all of my Project Life cards. So they're all divided. I have my pink cards, my gray cards, my blue cards, and that process took a couple weeks, which I probably shouldn't admit because it sounds ridiculous, but I did take time to divide them all up by color. And since then, once I started actually in Project Life, I got more sets of them. So at that time, it wasn't all the cards that you see there, which are, I really will admit that I have a problem. I have way too many Project Life cards, which is why I am glad that now I can see it, because I used to just have them sorted out into photo boxes, so they would just be covered and kind of stashed away until I wanted to go look for something. So I didn't really visually see how many I had. So I was like, oh, well, I'll just get one more set. How many cards can that be? I'll use them kind of mentality. And now that I see them in front of me all the time on my desk in the cubicle unit for Michael's, I realize that I really don't need any more. So I guess that was a good thing that came from that. And also, I really like having them on my desk because it makes it so much easier when I'm trying to make a layout for a weekly spread, because I can see what I have. I can just flip through it really easily. I'm not fighting with the photo boxes that were all stacked on top of each other and things like that. So it just takes a lot of the hassle out of doing weekly spreads. And so now there, I just added a couple of those wood veneers, which I had gotten from my local scrapbook store when I went for the first time there to see it. I want to say maybe 2-3 weeks ago. And they were Studio Calico farm animals wood veneers, so I was adding those in. And I still have that one little cow there that I'll end up adding in towards the end of the video. And here I am using this ephemera piece that was with the Simple Stories Say Cheese pack, and I have no idea what it is. I think it says Believe in Magic or something like that for the Disney theme, and I'm honestly not sure what the ephemera piece is supposed to be. I think, and I could be wrong, that it's some sort of a film reel, maybe. So I've been literally tossing that around for months. So I was like, I'm finally going to use it just to use it. And I did. And so now I'm going in there on that bottom card, and I'm just adding a couple of little dashes to make it look like stitching on the right side there. And I have that receipt there folded up in my iris container there that I was trying to put in this layout somewhere, but I'm not going to end up sticking it anywhere because I just couldn't find a spot for it. I thought maybe I could tuck it in somewhere, but nothing kind of came of that. So now I'm just trying to find a few more little ephemera bits and pieces and things like that to add in. And I end up using that red arrow on that card with a picture of the elephant and a picture of the little chickens hatching. There was an exhibit at the Biggie, which is the fair that I was at, and they have a whole farm building of farm animals. And so there's one particular section that had like a glass, I guess, enclosure, and you could watch all the little chicken eggs hatch, and it was really cute. So I printed a picture of that. And so there are a lot of animal pictures on this particular spread. They had racing pigs, a petting zoo with llamas, Clydesdale horses, elephants, camels. I'm trying to think. Goats. There was so many animals, and those were that was like my favorite part of it, was the petting zoo and all that, where you got to go and just kind of hang out with them and feed the goats and feed the, all the horses and whatnot. It's really fun. I loved it. So that was great, and that's why, as you saw earlier, I have a selfie with a goat, because I really did take a selfie with a goat. That pretty much explains my personality, I think, in one picture, would be the fact that I took that. And so I really could not use my wood veneer of a goat on that particular card with the stars. And I know that it's kind of hard to see all the detail of the cards from the overhead view, but at the end of the video I will end up showing all of the cards individually zoomed in as a picture. So you guys can see it, closer up and see the details of it. And so now I'm adding that flare badge, which I actually just got in the mail yesterday. I ordered a couple of badges that were on sale from the Scraptastic Club, and I'm not a member of any scrapbook club, but I had read online that they were having a sale on flare badges, and I wanted to kind of stock up because I don't really have a lot of flare, well, I didn't really have a lot of flare badges, so I ordered a couple sets of them because they were like 3 for $1 or 3 for 75 cents, so I ended up getting, I think I ended up getting 35 flare badges for $12, which I was really excited about, and they're really good quality, so I had never gotten anything from Scraptastic Kit Club, so I was really happy with that. And it came, well, let me rephrase that. The order was delayed because the Scraptastic Club is in South Carolina, and they had a hurricane there, and so they weren't, obviously sending out kits and orders last week when that was going on, so by the time it was mailed out, it took 3 days to get, after all that, so it would have been here in 3 days if it wasn't for the storm, so I thought that was great, so I was really happy with our customer service. So now I am making that other card there, which I had mentioned earlier, says "This made my day," and it's pointing to a picture of me with a sweatshirt that I got at the fair that said Godmother on it. And if you remember, or if you guys watched my video from last month, I had a layout there about how I became a godmother and how excited I was about it. So I had no choice but to get that sweatshirt when I saw it, because the fair was like maybe 3 weeks after that baptism, so it was really funny that I saw it, and I spotted it from like across the building. It was funny, and then I'm just kind of writing those notes down there in my journaling. And that other picture on that card is completely unrelated. It's of the cream puff and the eclairs that are I guess trademarks of the Biggie Fair, and since I had never been to the fair before, I never had them, so we got a cream puff, and it was really, really, really good. So I would highly recommend them. So of course, more journaling, and like I said at the end of the video, you guys will be able to see all of these details all of these little details in more of a close-up view, since this isn't really a very good angle. I'll have to remember this for the next video because I have been moving the stand that I use to put my phone on to record. I kind of moved it a little bit further forward to the front of my desk, so I'm not too happy with how this is. It's kind of pushed off now, so I'll have to see if I can make it easier for everybody to see what's going on the screen. And this will just about do it. I'm just writing the name of the fair. And again, I hope this video wasn't too long and boring for everybody. So since it was my first Project Life process video, I was pretty nervous that it would just like kind of go on and on and on. But explaining every little details, but I hope I didn't do that and that you guys will have enjoyed it. And if you did, please consider subscribing and giving me a thumbs up. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good day. Bye.